Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Public Affairs in Practice podcast. This time we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm often asked about the role of monitoring and the role that it plays in public affairs. Now, for me, monitoring is the bedrock of good public affairs. That information and intelligence enables us to be proactive in terms of our outreach and engagement with a range of audiences. One of the ways that organisations tend to get their information is to outsource it to companies. So in this edition, we'll listen to and hear from 5 such monitoring companies, and they do other services as well, and they'll tell us a little bit about what they do and how they do it. So I thought that would be interesting for us all to learn more about their services. So they are in no particular order: Dods, DeHavilland, PoliMonitor and Viewleo. And we'll hear from each of them and also have a look at the show notes. They'll have links to each of the companies. Some of them have provided some offers to Public Affairs in Practice podcast listeners, and there is links to take you through to their services. So hope you really enjoy this edition.
DeHavilland was founded back in 1998 and was named DeHavilland because the founders of the organisation first met on DeHavilland Street in central London. Over the years, the organisation has grown and developed to be one of the leading parliamentary monitoring providers across both London and Brussels, covering all kind of the key developments, specifically around the UK. Monitoring in terms of the bread and butter of the things we do and cover for our clients are things that you would expect. So ministerial statements, urgent questions, debates, departmental law questions, select committees. We also track the progress of bills through their various legislative stages. Everything you would expect from a parliamentary monitoring provider. DeHavilland is also really well known for its stakeholder engagement tools. Specifically, we have an online platform called PeoplePoint, which contains over 50,000 contact details for key political and parliamentary stakeholders, including biographies and various other bits of information that allows our clients to engage with these stakeholders. There's also functionality within our online platform that gives clients the facility to log their engagement, track their engagement, and ultimately report on their engagement levels. Some of our other services that we offer include sentiment analysis, so enabling clients to demonstrate the change in parliamentary sentiment towards either a reputation of organisations or parliamentary sentiment towards various topics and different policies over the course of time. We obviously have our sister brand Forefront Advisors, which we've recently acquired, which is offering and supporting clients in a much more advisory capacity. And we've recently launched an AI tool or an AI assistant called Havi that is supporting clients with research analysis as well as providing clients with content in which they can then engage with political stakeholders. In terms of our experience in the public affairs profession and the sector more widely, it's very, very clear to us that public affairs is a very, very grey area in terms of clients demonstrating the value that public affairs brings internally to their colleagues. And I think as well with the ever-changing landscape, particularly over the last 10 years or so, there's a lot of pressure on public affairs professionals to kind of have the answers internally to what is happening with all these major developments in the macro landscape. So for us, we support clients in 3 main areas. The first area is awareness. So in its simplest form, we provide our clients with the information that they need to be able to do their jobs. Very, very simple. The second key area that we support clients is in regards to engagement. So as I touched on earlier around our stakeholder engagement tools, we give our clients those tools and those facilities to enable them to effectively engage with political stakeholders. And the third area is support. And again, I've touched on this already, but in reference to those kind of key set piece events that happen throughout the course of any calendar year, the things like party conferences, fiscal statements, government reshuffles, and obviously what everyone in the sector is working towards the end of this year, which is scheduled, is a general election. So we keep clients abreast of all of the key developments across these major kind of landmarks in the political calendar and give them the information they need to be able to ultimately make decisions and inform their colleagues internally. On a more softer side, we provide clients with research support as and when they need it. We are always at the end of the phone for questions around politics, parliamentary processes, etc. So I would say that DeHavilland is really, really different in the sense that we are really, really good and really, really confident in that we support clients in these three areas, and those are the areas that the clients tell us that we support them. And I think big picture, one of the reasons why we work with so many organisations and they continue to work with us year after year is because ultimately we are saving our clients time. And that is a massive thing to be able to do as a service provider. And the other area in which clients tell us that they feel really supported by DeHavilland is a peace of mind. So they feel confident that they can go about their kind of daily and weekly work schedules, and they have the peace of mind that they are supported by DeHavilland in the areas that they need support in, which is obviously great to hear from a service provider. I think the other area to be really clear on is that we're an organisation that does utilise AI, and obviously the developments that AI is providing and is going to continue to provide. We do utilise AI, but we are a human-led organisation, so we use AI definitely, but we are predominantly a human-led organisation versus being an AI type of company that has one or two people in the office. We are very much the other way around and have lots of people here working at DeHavilland that utilise the AI tools. So that's a little bit about us. We work with some household names, which I'm sure most people listening to this show will recognise. We have testimonials on our website, so please feel free to have a visit, dehavilland.co.uk. A couple of those names are O2, HSBC, RSPCA, Trainline, UK Power Networks, BT. So for more information, please have a look at our website and get in touch.
Next up are Dods.
So an introduction to Dods. Dods has been running since 1832, starting with the Dods Parliamentary Companion, running up and down the Strand, making sure that people were in the know. And since then, we have been the eyes and ears of people working within politics and public affairs. And we're really proud of the history that goes along with that. To this day, we've grown to the point where we're supporting 4 core geographies, so working across the UK and all 4 nations, but also in the EU, working across France and Germany too, and providing solutions for customers across those regions in a way that is tailored and individual to most and led in a really lovely human way. We're proud of the 800 odd organisations that we work with, and hopefully we can tell you a little bit more about what we do with them. My name's Kieran. I'm the head of sales in the UK, and I'm joined by Fionnuala Quinn, who is our senior expert in working with the housing policy in the UK. Fionnuala, I don't know if you take over.
Yes. So hello, I'm Fionnuala. I am the political consultant for Levelling Up Housing Communities here at Dods. So in terms of the sort of things that we provide, our services, we provide customised content based on the client's policy brief, which is managed by a specialist consultant to filter out any irrelevant content. We also create priority alerts to provide instant notifications for key mentions topics in Parliament or through stakeholders, which enable swift responses to emerging issues. We provide human-led summaries of select committees of debates. I personally think the debate summaries we provide are really useful. As an example, today the consultant summarised an 143-page safety of Rwanda bill down to an 11-page summary. So we extract all that key information and present that to our clients. We also provide special event coverage. So we cover fringe events at party conferences, but also other special events, including APPG sessions, as well as more industry-specific events.
Yeah, and of course, we have a monitoring platform that sends client updates tailored to their interests. But I think that the most important thing is the client was receiving content that's not just been sourced from the web, but also is built on from our experts here at Dods. So whether it's our data team who are looking at the content and triple checking what's going through, but also the content that our consultants on a day-to-day basis are bringing to the table, whether it's their own insights that they're sending out, or it's stuff they're overlaying on top of that. And they work really hard as well on the other bits as well, making sure that all oral questions are covered, whether an MP saying something specific or providing a variety of really useful briefings along the way. In the past few weeks, we've had briefings for our sector look-aheads, so the next 6 months, understanding what's happening in their policy sectors, but also as well within that, in that providing a little overview of what's happening on the World Economic Forum too. But yeah, so I don't know if you want to tell people about kind of what you think people like about our service feel about being on the client side?
I think our proudest selling point is that we really are a human-led intelligence service. So we have 12 political consultants who specialise in their briefs. Our briefs largely run parallel to government departments. So, for example, my clients are interested in DLUC, the Levelling Up Housing Communities brief, meaning I get to have a wide variety of clients from faith groups to construction organisations.
Yeah, just to interject there as well, and something I'm always really proud of is actually the deep knowledge that our consultants have. The consultants are provided, hopefully, with all the tools they need to acquire this knowledge. Some of this is through formal education, of course, but also the consultants have got it firsthand through experience of working within the sector.
Yeah, like myself included, I previously worked in a local authority in their social housing organisation. I held a few different roles in that organisation, working with different service users and stakeholders. So I've seen firsthand how decisions made by the government and kind of different policy positions they take are embedded into local communities. And obviously, again, like the kind of formal education, we've got a couple of doctors who work in our team who have fantastic knowledge of their sectors as well. And just kind of one final point is we do acquire very department-specific knowledge, but our clients' interest can be really broad as well. So you gain knowledge of different bills or policies that you might not have expected to. So it's a little kind of fun facts about me. I know loads about automotive vehicles, which I didn't expect to, but I'm sure our transport consultant will be very happy about that.
Take some work off their plate. But no, I think it's a real testament actually to how our consultants work across the board. Our consultants do tend to embed themselves in our clients' teams, making sure that they are aware of the broad needs of the briefs that we're working across. And really, over my time working at Dods, over the past kind of 6 years or so that I've worked at Dods, is really that a solution is never far away from what we can do. We can work across all the different people and provide something bespoke to any sort of client.
Now we move on to PoliMontor.
I'm Ryan Barnes, Head of Growth at PoliMontor. PoliMontor is an all-in-one public affairs platform. We provide political monitoring, as well as stakeholder mapping with a parliamentary CRM, a lobbying platform, extensive analytics, and AI tools to save public affairs teams time. We work with dozens of organisations across the globe, including consultancies, universities, embassies, quangos, charities, trade associations, and many more. Also, hundreds of parliamentarians use PoliMontor to stay up to date with political developments and discover lobbying material relevant to them. In terms of the services we offer, particularly around Parliament, we give public affairs professionals the tools they need to monitor, influence and analyse what's going on in Parliament. We provide more than political monitoring, but political monitoring is at the heart of what we do. We have the most comprehensive coverage in the UK, including updates from government and official sources, legislation in Hansard, the parliamentary record, and we cover the devolved administrations as well. We automatically show the most relevant updates to your topic, which you can view in your inbox, on the PoliMontor website, or both. You choose what you're interested in, and we find you the updates that matter. For every update, our powerful AI also identifies the relevant stakeholders and related content, which makes it easy to understand the context of any political development. Our political monitoring powers lots of things on PoliMontor, but first and foremost, it's the engine behind our alerts. When users register with PoliMontor, they add keywords and topics they're interested in, and then they can choose how and when to receive alerts based on those interests. We mentioned that we're more than political monitoring, and our stakeholder mapping is a big part of that. We cover thousands of policymakers, including MPs, peers, and their advisors. Stakeholder mapping on PoliMontor allows you to find the most relevant and most influential policymakers to your interests, and then sort them according to position, party, region, and more, even sentiment. For every policymaker, we have their roles and responsibilities, their titles, their contact information, biographies, what APPGs they're members of, but most importantly, we've got all of their relevant spoken and written parliamentary contributions. And as I mentioned, we partner with Amazon to analyse the sentiment of every update from every policymaker. When combined with stakeholder mapping, this means PoliMontor users can identify the policymakers talking negatively or positively about their topic and explore their contributions to really understand the context behind what they're saying. We think that's a really powerful feature for public affairs professionals, because when you're trying to engage with a policymaker, it's not just about what matters to you, it's what matters to them. And PoliMontor is a really useful tool in helping bridge that gap. And that brings me on to our next big feature, our political CRM. You can add notes and tags to any policymaker in PoliMontor to make searching and filtering easier. We designed PoliMontor to make going from Excel spreadsheets and messy, disparate sources of data to having everything all in one place really easy. Perhaps the biggest part of our political CRM and stakeholder mapping is the ability to email policymakers directly from PoliMontor. We show you how every email you send has performed, not just open and delivery rates, but who clicked what, how many times, and even on what device. Lots of public affairs professionals were telling us that sending emails to parliamentarians felt a bit like a black hole. This is designed specifically to tell you if and how your message is getting through. So, to recap, PoliMontor is really popular with public affairs teams because we're an all-in-one platform for public affairs. We help you to monitor, influence and analyse what's going on in Parliament with extensive coverage and features designed with public affairs professionals in mind. I think PoliMontor stands out for a few reasons. We've always been champions of public affairs, and that kind of has two meanings. First of all, we're champions of public affairs. We have the most extensive coverage, we've got the most advanced stakeholder mapping, we've built analytics and AI tools that help public affairs teams have the impact they want. This is our game and we're experts in it. Additionally, however, we're champions of the public affairs professional. We're there to support them in making an impact on democracy in the UK. We do that in a number of ways. We're all about levelling the playing field for lobbyists and campaigners. We're knocking down the walls and putting state-of-the-art public affairs tools in the hands of everybody. We put our pricing available for everybody to see on our website. When you use the contact box on PoliMontor, you talk directly to me or our founder Elliot or another one of the team. You can sign up for a free trial easily online. And I think these are the reasons we're growing extremely quickly. Everything we do is to support public affairs professionals in monitoring, analysing, and most importantly, influencing policy. And our all-in-one platform is the best way to do that.
Listeners to this podcast can get 10% off any annual subscription to PoliMontor. Simply visit polimogul.com/podcast and register for a 2-week trial to get started. Terms and conditions apply.
Thanks very much. I've been Ryan Barnes, Head of Growth at PoliMontor.
Next up is PoliMonitor.
Hi, my name's Sam. I'm the CEO and co-founder of PoliMonitor. PoliMonitor was founded officially in 2017, but in truth, we only really went kind of full-time in 2021 after the pandemic, where we saw a massive uptick in the levels of interest, where I think people were looking to review what they did, making sure that they were getting value for money and the products and services they had were delivering for the needs and the requirements, especially as the world changed after COVID. We've got a large range of services, particularly around the Westminster Parliament, but as well as that in the Scottish and Welsh Parliaments, as well as really happy to announce we are getting ready for the return of the Assembly in Northern Ireland. I think we've got a really unique set of services which set us apart from others in this market. While we've got a huge wealth of experience in terms of people working at the front line of politics, including myself, where I used to work in Parliament and in the civil service, I think the really great thing about us is that we're able to leverage some of the breakthroughs in technology which have come about. Not least, one of the things that we do is our live real-time transcripts of everything that's broadcast from the Westminster Parliament. That includes approximately 1,500 hours of broadcast each month, and we're able to share that in real time with our clients. So I guess in the old world, you would have had to have had 20 people watching 20 screens, trying to remember thousands of clients, thousands of terms, thousands of people of who to be emailed when, which is increasingly an impossible task. We're able to kind of do that fairly effortlessly, and I'm really excited that a little bit of an exclusive here, but yet to announce it publicly, but we've just received a significant grant from Innovate UK to double down on our investments in our technology and around, in particular around our AI tools, to build out a real-time summarization service for the transcripts that we're currently producing. And it's worth saying that while we are known as a monitoring firm, we definitely want to go beyond monitoring, and that will include services like our transcript, our summarization, but also further bits of analysis. We have our CRM service, which we launched last year. We're actually in the process of redesigning and rebuilding, and then hopefully in the coming weeks relaunching that, where we think we can have a much more intelligent and effective and efficacious way for people to engage politicians and understand where they're coming from and the best ways to engage with them.
And finally, Vulio.
Thank you so much for inviting me onto the podcast to discuss Vulio's political monitoring offer. My name's Sam Webber and I'm an account manager here at Vulio. One of the main things I wanted to stress is the ability we have to create a bespoke package for every single client to meet your needs, the needs of your team and your public affairs strategies. One of the key factors you have here, one of the key benefits of our offer is the ability to log in to your own bespoke Vulio platform. And you can have user access for as many of your colleagues as you require and who are active on the team and need to get in to use the services. All of your content will appear in there, the relevant parliamentary content and the relevant social media content, tracking key stakeholders that we think you need to follow. All of your relevant content is in that platform, and you also receive email alerts which are set up to meet your needs, to whatever you're tracking, whether that's legislation in Parliament, key mentions of your campaigns or your name, key issues are sent to your team. Separate to that, within the package we put together, we can include the support of one of our policy researchers who will be an expert in your sector and is able, therefore, to offer key advice and will be, therefore, monitoring key parliamentary legislation and key activities within Westminster. We can also monitor and track activities of the devolved parliaments in Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland as well. We send out a long list of different email publications to relevant members of your team throughout each week, tracking what's going on in Parliament and the devolved parliaments. So we're able to support your requirements and tailor the sort of research and content you're getting from us. You've also got the ability to request coverage of, say, select committee sessions or debates in the House of Commons or Lords, and that can include party conference fringe event coverage as well in the autumn. You've got access to our database products, so our parliamentary contacts database, but you can also request our civil service database and our local government database, for example. Separate to all of these products, you can also have access to our stakeholder relationship management software. So you can log all of your parliamentary meetings, for example, all of your meetings with key stakeholders. So those are no longer logged on an Excel spreadsheet or on a paper list, but they're actually logged on a crucial SRM system that all of your users have access to, and so that everyone can keep up to date as key issues and key relationships are developed. We should also point out a lot of our clients across all of the various sectors that we work with are starting to monitor parliamentary candidates in the run-up to the general election, and that's something we can help you with as well, sending you that key PPC data, the data of those selected candidates, and indeed building perhaps profiles or lists for you of relevant candidates who are perhaps most likely to win their seats in the new House of Commons, perhaps based on their backgrounds, their experiences to date, whether that is business, the charity sector, background in the armed forces, or whatever it might be. We're able to support those needs. And so I very much hope, if you've got an interest in talking to us as one of the market leaders in the political monitoring sector, please do get in touch through the podcasts. And we will be very keen to set up a trial and to set up a discussion with you about how we can best meet your needs and support your public affairs strategies going forward. Thank you very much.